The solutions to participation number 9. Usually, remember in the homework, this is the only part that is given, and you use the calculator. This is all you need to figure out several things. In the quiz and in the exam, though, this is usually all of this is given to you, and notice that I already computed these values. Okay. If not, you have to compute it yourself first. But if they are given to you already, you can just use it. Otherwise, remember the formula, for example, to compute s of x is equals to the sum of x squared minus the sum of x squared over n. And then just get the information from here. Like, remember, this is the sum of x, this is the sum of y, the sum of x squared, and so forth. Sum of y squared, and then the sum of xy. But in this particular case, I already give you the value. So I already telling you that if you do all the sum, that will be 24.8. So you don't have to compute it. Okay. So to find r, remember the formula for r, or the correlation, is equals to s of xy divided by s of xx times s of yy. So just plug in the values. So this should be 19.2 divided by the square root of 24.8 times 20.8. So just get your calculators ready. How much is that? Remember, the answer for r has to be between -1 and 1. If you don't get something between -1 and 1, something is wrong. So what is it? Which is 0.85. Now this is between -1 and 1, so it doesn't mean it's completely right, but you know it's not wrong for sure. Okay. All right. So that's how you find the correlation, which is pretty straightforward. Then the next part is asking you to find the equation of best fit. And remember that the equation of best fit, y hat is equals to m x plus b, where m is the slope. And the formulas to find m, they're already given. And the formula to find b is also on the formula sheet. This is just s of xy over s of xx. And this is y bar minus x minus times m times x bar. All right, so in this case, s of xy is 19.2 and s of xx is 24.8. So how much is that? 0.77. And then notice that the y bar and the x bar, this one and this one are not given, but they are very easy to compute. To do that, all you have to do is from here, x bar will be the sum of x, which is 14, and then n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5, and y bar will be 34 over 5. So 14 over 5 is how much? So this is 2.8 and this is 6.8. So to find the y-intercept, just plug it in here. So this will be 6.8 minus m, which we just found it to be 0.77, times x bar, which is 2.8. And how much is that? So this is 4.6. So you round it to one decimal place. From here, then, the equation of best fit, you just have to plug in the values here. So y hat, remember the hat means it's an approximation. This will be equals to m, which is this value right here. So it's 0.77x. And then the b was 4.6. So this is this. This is this. And y hat is called the equation of best fit. So this is the equation of best fit, which pretty much just means this is the best approximation you can have. This is also called the regression line. That's the most common the most common name. Now, part C is straightforward, actually has nothing to do with the stats. Part C says predict Y. So predict Y is a fancy name to say find Y hat when X equals to 4. So essentially all you have to do is you're going to use this equation and just plug in 4 for X. So this could be whatever number they give you, and this will give you an approximation. So how much is this to one decimal place? This is 7.7, and that's it. So that's the approximation. Okay. Now the last part, that's where we had to do the hypothesis testing. Just don't forget the information that we already have here. You need the value for R. Remember that R was 0.85. The value for N is 5. I believe this is all we need on the next page. Here is already telling you what to test. So this, whenever you have to do this question, step 1 will be given to you all the time. So essentially here, step 1 is asking you to test the claim that rho is equals to 0, and the alternative is that rho is not equals to 0. Which, remember, this one means that there is a correlation. Okay. If you reject the claim, that means there is a correlation. And the value for alpha is 10. Remember, R was equals to 0.85 and N was equals to 5. All right, so for step 2, you need to find T star. And the formula for T star is the following, which is on the formula sheet 2. You have to be careful when you're playing the values. So in this case, this will be 0.85. And then N is 5, so N minus 2 is 3. This will be 1 minus 0.85 squared. So square this first, subtract from 1, divide 3 over that, take the square root, and then multiply by 0.85. And I know it sounds like a lot, but that's what you need to do. All right, so just try and tell me what you get. So this is 2.79 or 2.8. Then for step 3, you need a t-table. So the rejection region, since this is 2 tails, alpha has to be divided by 2. So this has to be plus or minus t of 0.05, because alpha is 0.10. So you divide by 2, you get 0.05. And the degrees of freedom is equals to 3. So this is the only one where the degrees of freedom is n minus 2. And I told you it's already in here. So this is to see. So how much is this from the table? So 2.583, right?
No, 2.353.
153. All right. All right, so then remember, draw the rejection region just like we have been doing all along.
It's
So 2.353.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks. So then this is 2.353. This is minus 2.353. So if it is here, it will be rejected. If it is here, it will be rejected. And here is the fail to reject. Okay, so fail to reject HO. All right. So then is 2.8 in the rejection region? And the answer is yes, right? So 2.8 is here. So T star is equals to 2.8. So therefore the conclusion is to reject HO, which means that the alternative is true. So in that case, that means that rho is not equals to 0, which implies that there is a correlation. Okay, and that's it for the rejection region method. All right, so for the p-value method, remember the step 1 and step 2 are the same. So you can go straight to step 3. And for step 3, the p-value will be twice the probability that t is greater than t star, which in this case is 2.8. And then this will be twice. If you use the calculator, this will be TCDF. The lower bound is 2.8. Remember, this is essentially what I used to call the green area. And the upper bound will be 1000. So this is 2.8, 1000, and then the degrees of freedom, which is 3. So you need to find this and then multiply times 2. So how much is that? Which is 0.068. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
All right. And then remember the last step, compare the p-value with alpha, which is 0.10 actually. Alpha was 0.10. And you can see that this is clearly less, and less means to reject HO. And that's it.